What's up everybody, Bandit here. Today's Tuesday and we have another project here with the parts you see behind me. So huge thanks to Sparks Parts for making this video possible, and we'll get down to it. So today we're going to be cleaning the Performance TRD air filters that we have in our trucks here. This is the kit that came directly from Sparks Parts, and you can see it has two different fluids in here. The actual air filter cleaner and then the air filter oil. These are oil filters. So far so good. They have worked very well for us, but it is time to give them a good cleaning. Also, each of these bottles do come with their own sprayer, which is really handy, and a paper towel to catch some of the excess fluid. So without further ado, we'll go ahead out to the truck, past the hallway of broken dreams here. You can see the new project truck is coming along, but it does need some brake work. We have been hitting the four-wheelers pretty hard over the weekends, and we'll go ahead and get down to it. So we'll go ahead and get the filter out of here. You can see we did stick the sticker on here saying do not throw away this filter. They are reusable, and that's again what we're doing today. So go ahead and pop clips off of here and pull it out. Now notice the way this box is routed, you're sucking air from the fender in through the air filter and in through the motor. So the air is going to be traveling upwards while it goes to the motor. So you can see here, when we pull it out, air comes in this side and out this side. So inspecting the filter here, again, this is the side where the air was coming in from. This is the other side, and you can see there is a distinct difference in color. This inflow side is definitely darker than the side of the air that's going into the motor. So that means the filter is working, it is trapping a lot of sediment. Now again, this is an oiled filter, and basically what that means is it relies on oil to help catch some of that sediment, some of those airborne particles. Now you do want to clean this occasionally because the oil and the grime does kind of build up. You want to rinse all of that off and put fresh oil on there so it can continue doing its job as an air filter instead of just keep getting blocked up. So we'll go ahead and start cleaning it here. Again, this clear fluid is the air filter cleaner, and we'll go ahead and get down to it. Now if you do have a ton of dirt here on the air filter, you might want to get started off here with the shop vac. That is what I'm going to do. Mine isn't super dirty, but there are a couple loose pieces of grass and other little things in here that we can go ahead and clean up before we start cleaning it with the fluid. So with most of the loose dirt gone, we're going to go ahead and move to the air filter cleaner. Now you want to spray this on both sides, get a pretty good coating, make sure it's nice and soaked. You can see I have a tarp laying down here on the bench. You don't really want all this kind of running all over your stuff. This will make it a lot easier to clean it up, but you just want a good coating on this, and then we're going to spray it all on here and then wait about 10 minutes while it all soaks in. Then we're going to go rinse it off. So while we have this thing soaking, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about these filters. Now I've heard a lot of people say that these are exactly the same as the K&N filters, and I don't exactly agree. Now they are very similar. They are an oil type setup, but there are some differences. Now first off, K&N does not just make full intake systems. They do also just make filters that you can drop in your vehicle, very similar to this. But another company that does that is AFE, and from all the research that I've done, I believe these are actually made in the AFE factory, or at least they used to be. I can't find any more recent information. Now, I've looked all over the box, all over the bottles, and even through the box that the original filter came in, and I don't see where it says this anywhere. It does say it's a TRD part made in the United States by Toyota Motor Sales USA Incorporated. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I don't think Toyota makes these filters. I believe Toyota makes cars, and they probably sub out the rest of this work to some other company that specializes in that part, and that's why I believe AFE is responsible for this. At least in my dealings with K&N, they make decent filters. I believe AFE is a little bit better, and these seem to be a little bit better quality as well than the standard K&N. Now obviously I can't trash talk K&N a whole lot. My roommate and buddy Briggs in the 4th gen white 4Runner that I'm sure you all have seen, he has the V8 in his, the 4.7 liter, and that thing has over 300,000 miles, and it still has an open style cone shaped K&N filter on that, and it's running great. So I'm not necessarily saying that the K&N style filters do not let in as much sediment, but they certainly still work. They certainly still trap some of those airborne particles because he has ran that thing a lot. I mean, a lot. In all different types of conditions, off-road, on-road, highway, everything you can think of. And that thing's still going strong at over 300,000 miles. So apparently, these filters do still work. So we've now moved this project up here into the kitchen, where we're going to use the kitchen sink to finish rinsing all of this cleaner out. Now, again, the filter set in the truck like this. The air was sucked up from the bottom and then went into the engine. So we're going to spray the water here in reverse order. And we're going to do this to push the rest of those particles that are still suspended in the filter back out the way they came in. Now, you don't want to do this the other way because basically you're going to just pull more trapped particles into the filter and it's going to be harder and harder to rinse that out. So going in the reverse order here, we'll go ahead and use the kitchen sprayer to rinse the rest of this out. So the last couple hours, this thing's been sitting in front of the fan and drying, and recently Chad came over to help with the rest of the process. But we have the TRD air filter oil here, and it says basically to make a pass all around this thing, both sides, and then to allow some time for it all to stand. And basically what that allowed the oil to do is percolate or migrate through the different ridges and everything like that, get evenly distributed, and then from there you can look for wet spots and dark spots and everything like that where there might be more or less oil. Basically you want a thin, even coating across the whole thing. You don't want to overdo this because the oil will get stuck in your mass airflow sensor. Obviously that's not a good situation, but this filter does rely on the oil to trap some of the debris. So you definitely need that good even coat. You want to be a couple inches away when you spray it. And again, just a nice even coat across the whole thing should do the job.
So another tip that we did learn from Tacoma World, when it comes to oiling the filter with the fresh oil, you can take a shop vac and you can set it on either a grocery bag or a dirty t-shirt or anything really that helps create a little bit of force on the other side. When you're pulling through like this, when it's running, obviously, you can pull off excess oil if there's too much of it, or you can pull it through the media, and it does definitely help spread the oil around after it's been sitting for a little bit. And honestly, when we looked at it, it looks a lot better now. When we had first put it on there, we were like, oh, I don't really know if it's doing what it's supposed to do. But when we had found that tip on Tacoma World, by using a shop vac with the force that it produces, it definitely does help with re-oiling it and getting it spread around. So now we're going to let it sit for a little bit longer, and then it's going to be ready to put back into the air box on the truck.
So with a little bit of extra time and allowing the rest of this oil to kind of percolate through, fill all the voids and kind of even out, I think it looks really good. And again, the shop vac does help to take any of that excess oil out. And actually in the end of the tube of the shop vac, you can actually see some of that oil sucking up out of there. So basically, if you're not sucking it out with the shop vac, the engine will suck it up, and then that oil will get, obviously eventually burn up, but some of it will get stuck on the mass airflow sensor. Will kind of make that dirty, and then you'll have to clean that. And that is kind of one of the complaints with these oiled filters, that it makes kind of a dirtier engine. It does kind of dirty up your mass airflow sensor. That's not really true. If you do what we showed you here, you do get a lot of that excess oil off, and then really there's not a whole lot of debris on that mass airflow sensor, and it should stay working for some time. So based off of how much we have here in the bottles, we should be able to do this process a few more times with this kit. Again, huge thanks to Sparks Parts for providing us with this kit so we can clean these filters. It does really help out. I would suggest using the TRD stuff. Basically, our thinking here is, especially as long as your truck is still under warranty, if you're using a TRD filter and TRD cleaning products, there is no kind of issues if you would have any warranty claims or anything like that. You are still using a true TRD product, whereas if you go with AFE, even if it is basically the same thing, or a K&N, you may have a couple more questions asked at the dealership if you would have to take it in. So we're all pretty much wrapped up. We'll slap this back in the truck and be good to go. But thank you all very much for tuning in and checking out this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing and liking the video. We do really appreciate the support. But thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Catch you next time.
See you guys. I guess it needs to work its way up.
Oh, come on now. You gotta be kidding me.
Be good for the bloopers.
Well, it's in the straw.
It is. I guess keep on giving it a. Oh, sounds different.
Don't.
No?
No, just dump the bottle on there. That won't be too much, will it?
Screw it.
Just soak the rest of it up.